Barely 2 years after the Monitor was founded in 1992, government officials deemed its independent reporting intolerable. To financially cripple the paper, the state, then one of Uganda's largest advertisers, banned all government advertising. Despite the financial strain, the Monitor continued covering sensitive issues such as the war in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Lord's Resistance Army rebellion, and corruption within government institutions. The ban was lifted in 1997 after pressure from donors who demanded equitable advertising across public and private media. Hostility, however, persisted. On September 21, 1997, the Monitor published a story about the war in the DRC that the government claimed was false. A month later, editor Charles Onyango Obo and reporter Andrew Mwenda were charged with publishing false news. They petitioned the Constitutional Court, arguing the charges violated their rights, and years later, the courts agreed, striking down the offense of false news. Amid growing repression, the Monitor's founders sought stability by selling a stake in the Monitor Publication Limited to the Nation Media Group NMG. In 2000, on October 9, 2002, President Museveni called the Monitor an enemy newspaper. The next day, security forces raided and shut down its offices after it reported that rebels had downed a UPDF helicopter. The paper remained closed for 10 days, and several top editors later resigned under pressure. In August 2005, state agents arrested Andrew Mwenda live on air during his KFM talk show, accusing him of sedition and promoting sectarianism after he discussed the helicopter crash that killed Sudan's Vice President John Garang. The Broadcasting Council shut down KFM, which reopened days later after paying heavy fines. Seeking to expand, NMG launched NTV Uganda in December 2006 under Africa Broadcasting Uganda Limited. A month later, the government took the station off air, citing licensing issues, and it remained closed until April 2007. Soon after, police accused the Monitor of incitement over a story about police recruitment, but later backed down. Between 2007 and 2013, as Uganda faced protests over Mabira Forest, the Walk to Work campaign, and election disputes, NMG journalists were repeatedly targeted, summoned, interrogated, and prosecuted. On May 20, 2013, police raided Monitor Publications Limited in Namwongo, sealing off its newspapers and radio stations for 11 days after a story about a letter allegedly authored by General David Sejusa. In March 2015, Parliament expelled NMG journalists, among 53 reporters, from covering its sessions, accusing them of biased reporting. Even replacements faced scrutiny and accreditation challenges. In February 2019, the Uganda Communications Commission ordered the shutdown of the Daily Monitor website following a complaint by then-Speaker Rebecca Kadaga, who disputed a story alleging she had not paid a traditional healer. The newspaper stood by its reporting. In 2025, state pressure had intensified. During the Kawempe North by-election in March, armed personnel assaulted NMG and other journalists, destroying their equipment. Despite promises of investigation, no action has followed. In May, the government threatened punitive action over headlines deemed critical of its leadership, including one titled, "Goodbye Rule of Law, Till We Meet Again," after Parliament passed the UPDF Amendment Bill reinstating the trial of civilians in military courts.